Yes, good morning to the many viewers and listeners of DBS News, the Dominica's broadcasting station. And we are live here right now at the Government of Dominica's Housing Recovery Project, handing over of 45 homes. We are presently at the State House Conference Center in Roseau. As you can see behind me, the event is program actually is on the way, getting on. I'm just going to give you what to expect at this morning's ceremony. So we are expecting the arrival of Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Skerrit as well. We expect the Masters of Ceremony to be Dr. Kira Paul, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. We also have the National Anthem being done by Miss Shalina. Then we have the opening prayer by Pastor Samuel Augustine. Welcome remarks by Her Worship Ermine Roye, Mayor of the City of Roseau. Remarks by Surangha Kahandawa, who is the Senior Disaster Management Risk Specialist, Task Team Leader of the World Bank Mission. Beneficiary as well as appreciation and testimonies are also expected to get under the way. We have some remarks to be made by the Prime Minister himself, as well as Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerrit, who is now the Minister for Housing and Urban Development. Performances by Umoja by the Convent High School. A keynote address will be given by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. Handing over of keys as well will be also done by the Prime Minister with vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Please stand.
All right, we're about to stand now for the national anthem as the program is about to commence.
As we acknowledge the arrival of Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Melissa Popon-Skerrit, the Honorable Minister for Housing and Urban Development.
Pleasant good morning to all. I'm inviting to the podium Ms. Shalina Samuel to do the honors of the national anthem.
Isle of beauty, Isle of splendor, Isle too oh so sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gift so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills and mountains, all these gifts we do exalt. Healthy land, so like all fountains, giving chill that warms the soul.
Thank you, Shalina. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Honorable Melissa Skerrit, Minister for Housing and Urban Development. Other honorable members of Cabinet and Parliamentary Secretaries. Her Worship Sandra Ermine Roye, Mayor of City of Roseau. Ms. Dennis, Permanent Secretaries, Mr. Suranga, Senior Disaster Management Risk Specialist, Ms. Lolita Raful, Environmental Specialist, Pastor Samuel Augustine, Ms. Shalina Samuel, beneficiaries, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the handover of 45 homes under the Housing Recovery Project, a project of the Government of Dominica. I invite to the podium Pastor Samuel to do the honors of the prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Let's pray. Father, we give you thanks and we give you praise today. For truly, once again, you are proving that you are mighty God. We thank you, God, for the word that tells us in the book of Proverbs chapter 3. It tells us that we must bind love and faithfulness around our heart. It tells us that we must never forget it. It tells us that we must even write it on the tablets of our heart. The concept of love and faithfulness, God, is a very powerful one and a very beautiful one. And we thank you, God, that in no small way, no small measure, the government of this lovely Commonwealth of Dominica has embraced wholeheartedly this biblical concept. And over the years, God, we have seen a massive move, oh God, of delivering homes to individuals, literally uplifting them. Today, Father, once again, we give you thanks. For it is you, O God, who have placed the government. It is you, O God, who have given them the wherewithal to seek the funds and to do all that is within their power to ensure that the citizens of this Commonwealth of Dominica be elevated. Jesus, we thank you, because even when you spoke, you understood the importance of place, of just a home. And you said, I go to prepare a place for you. Truly today, God, we just bless you, and we thank you that many persons here today, many families will receive a place, a home, somewhere that they can call their own because of the efforts of this government. We look to you, Father, and indeed, once again, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for your blessings upon us as a nation. Bless these proceedings today, and bless those who will receive the homes. May they be forever grateful and thankful to you, O God, and to this government. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Let everyone say, amen.
You may have your seats. Thank you, Pastor Samuel. Today's ceremony is carried live to ensure that all Dominicans are part of the process. And to do the official welcome, I now invite to the podium Her Worship Ermine Royer, Mayor of the City of Roseau. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Melissa Skerrit, Minister of Housing, Urban Development, also the Parliamentary Representative for Roseau Central, other honorable members of the Cabinet and Parliamentary Secretary, Ms. Dennis Edward, Financial Secretary, Mr. Kyle Paul, Dr. Kyle Paul, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, other Permanent Secretary, Mr. Saraj Kawanda, Senior Disaster Management Risk Specialist Task Team Leader, World Bank Mission, Ms. Leotel Raffol, Environment Safeguard Specialist, Housing Recovery Project Implement Unit, Pastor Samuel Augustine, Ms. Charlene Samuel, Beneficiaries, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me extend a sincere welcome to you as we gather here today to bear witness to what I consider a life-changing experience for many of you, your family and your friends, for having been selected to receive keys to your new home. I am sure this will be a very moving experience for some of you. I say so solemnly because I see the excitement in you. Your new home and your physical environment should encourage you to improve your life and your family life. While you will celebrate your achievement, I too, as mayor of the city of Roseau, welcome the government plans by providing affordable houses for its citizens. I am also pleased to see the housing stocks and landscape in the city of Roseau are being improved. For this, we are thankful. Today, housing sector is one of the most developed sectors in Dominica economy. The government continues its effort towards further development of this sector in Dominica, which is also manifested here in the city of Roseau. This occasion is largely yours. You, the recipients, I urge you to be thankful and grateful, and one of the ways in which you can do so is by taking care of the gift you will be receiving here today. I am certain that you will hear other speakers echo similar sentiments. With this brief remark, I again welcome you to the key handing ceremony of 45 housing units. Good luck to you. A hearty welcome to everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship. Of course, this project idea birthed and implemented by the government of Dominica with resource support from the World Bank. And so on this auspicious occasion, I welcome Mr. Suranga, the task team specialist of the World Bank, to deliver some remarks on behalf of the team.
Very good morning. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Honorable Melissa Skerrit, Minister for Housing and Urban Development, other honorable members of the Cabinet, Parliament Secretaries, Her Worship Sandra Ermine Royer, Mayor of the City of Roseau, Ms. Denise Edwards, Financial Secretary, Dr. Kira Paul, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, other permanent secretaries, Ms. Lolita Raffiol, Environmental Specialist, Housing Recovery Project Management Unit, Implementation Unit, Pastor Samuel Augustine, Ms. Shalina Samuel, beneficiaries, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to join this very important occasion on behalf of the World Bank, and I would like to thank the government and the organizers for inviting the bank for this occasion. I want to first congratulate all the beneficiaries who received their keys today for their new homes. And we thank you for your excellent cooperation, hard work, and the patience during this process. The Caribbean region, as we all know, is constantly getting affected by disasters. Hurricanes, floods, drought, volcanic eruptions, landslides, we have a lot of them. And they have become major threats to the development in the region. Between 2000 and 2019, the Caribbean region lost on average 3.6% of the aggregate GDP of those countries for year as an aggregate. Hurricanes Erika, Maria, Irma, the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the earthquakes in Haiti in 2010 and 2011 are examples for these major events with very high economic impact. For example, in the Caribbean region, the average annual loss due to cyclones alone will increase by $1.4 billion by 2050. This is mainly due to climate change, but there are many other factors. Urbanization, the region is rapidly urbanizing. There are, poorly planned development in certain instances. So these all contribute to the vulnerability and the exposure. So at the same time, people in the Caribbean are very resilient. There has been significant reduction in the casualties due to disasters in the region. Thanks to the efforts by the government, donors, civil society, communities, and also the research and the technological advancements. For example, Dominica bounced back within 1 year after Hurricane Maria, which is a very devastating event. And governments are getting more serious about the disasters. Within many competing priorities, governments in the region have, including Dominica, have invested significantly in reducing risk. Dominica is a good example. Government has taken many initiatives to prepare communities for future extreme events and to reduce risks. But still, there is a lot that needs to be done in the region to reduce the future impacts of disasters. Coming back to housing, the housing has generally been the worst affected sector due to disasters. The housing sector suffered direct damages of about $1 billion due to hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017. Housing reconstruction is one of the most important aspects in the post-disaster recovery because the housing provides people the homes, the security they need after shocks, right? And also, in most of the cases, small businesses are home-based. So for those businesses to kickstart, the housing reconstruction, the quick action on housing reconstruction is very important. Following Hurricane Maria, the housing recovery project was designed with two main objectives. One is to provide resilient houses to the beneficiaries who got affected by Hurricane Maria, and also to provide technical support to the broader government's housing program through establishing technical assistance centers. As you know, there are 4 technical assistance centers established by the government, staffed, so that the communities can receive technical assistance from them in their construction related works, right? Initially, the project faced some delays, as you know, due to COVID-19 and several other capacity challenges, but due to hard work of all the team working on the project, due to the support from the government, the project has picked up quite well, achieved a significant progress by now, and I hope, by now I think about 260 houses are either completed or the construction ongoing, which is a great progress, and I hope the remaining houses will be built very soon. Once again, on behalf of the World Bank, I would like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister and the government for the excellent leadership, the guidance that it has provided for this project, and also all the government staff, the beneficiaries, the supervision consultants who have worked tirelessly throughout the process to advance this project to this extent. With that, I would like to finish my brief remarks. And again, congratulations to the beneficiaries who are receiving their new homes today. And wishing you a very happy New Year 2023 and a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Suranga. Of course, today is about the beneficiaries of this program and the receipt of their keys to their new homes. And they are afforded an opportunity to provide statements of appreciation. We have Mr. Ferdinand Joseph of the Pegush community. Please come forward. Let's make him feel welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great joy to be here this morning. The night of the Hurricane Maria, it was not easy. I tell you, I thought it was the end of the world. I could hear the wind talk different languages. I was very scared. But I was not at my house. I was taking shelter at someone else's house. But when everything passed, I went back to where my house was situated. There was no house. The wind just took the house. It was a plywood house. It just took everything and just smash it. I lost the house and everything that was in it. So when I heard about the housing recovery program of the Ministry of Housing, I said, let me give it a try. I did apply. I did what I had to do. And when they called me and they told me that I was one of the recipients, I was quite happy. It did not take long after. They started working with me, which I quite appreciate, as I will be receiving the key to my new home today. That is my own. Thank you to the Housing Recovery Project, the World Bank, the Government of Dominica, my pal rep, and the Prime Minister of Dominica. I am overwhelmed and so happy to be here today. Words are not enough to express my gratitude, but I will say again, thank you to everybody who assisted me to reach thus far, that I have a good home, that I can sleep comfortable and live comfortable. Thank you to the government of Dominica. I now have a beautiful home. Thank you.
Thank you, Ferdinand. It's good to hear these testimonies and this level of gratitude. I now invite to the podium Stephanie Carbon. Okay, so Stephanie seems not to be here. All right, so the minister, we have a new minister in the Ministry of Housing, Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerrit, who has assumed the roles and the responsibilities of the ministry, and she has been providing some support, strong support, where the Housing Recovery Project is concerned, and so I invite her to the podium to deliver some remarks.
Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, other honorable members of Cabinet and parliamentary secretaries, Her Worship Sandra Ominroye, the Mayor of the City of Roseau, Ms. Denise Edwards, the Financial Secretary, Dr. Kira Paul, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, other permanent secretaries, Mr. Suranga Kahandawa, Senior Disaster Management Risk Specialist Task Team Leader of the World Bank Mission, Ms. Lolita Raful, Environmental Safeguard Specialist in the Housing Recovery Project Implementation Unit, Pastor Samuel Augustine, Ms. Shalina Samuel, Beneficiaries, invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. Beneficiaries, I feel sheer joy knowing that more than 45 more Dominican families today have a home to call their own at the start of this new year, 2023. Congratulations. Today marks the start of a new period in your life. Today you will regain your independence, your sense of security and belonging, and a new opportunity to rebuild your lives following the losses suffered as a result of Hurricane Maria. And I celebrate with you today because I understand all too well the peace and the sense of accomplishment which comes with home ownership. As part of the Government of Dominica's housing revolution, the Housing Recovery Project underscores the government's objective to meet a most basic need of our people, a home which provides safety and security. And so in negotiating a project of this magnitude, worth over 40 million US, with financing from the World Bank, the government of Dominica once again exhibited its commitment to provide citizens with quality homes for the comfort of their families. And allow me to remind you, my dear people, that following Hurricane Maria, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit announced to the world Dominica's vision to become the first climate resilient nation in the world. And this government is clearly serious about achieving this vision. Having faced multiple intense rainfall events, storms, and hurricanes in recent years, we can all agree that there is now an even greater imperative to improve the resilience of individuals and families. And these events have become increasingly frequent, but we remain extremely vulnerable to the threat of climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, this handover of homes today is a step towards strengthening capacity at the family and community levels to respond to disaster impacts. With safe shelter, more of our citizens are assured peace of mind in and out of the hurricane season. And with this peace of mind comes the ability to plan more effectively for severe weather and other disasters, and to respond more quickly if we're affected. And as a people, we must recognize that there is a role for everyone as we implement the new policies and take action to adapt to climate change. And so we must continue to devise and adopt measures which are forward-thinking and responsive to the unique needs and the vulnerabilities of our island, Dominica. And we are doing just that, notwithstanding the fact that there is much more work to be done. The Housing Recovery Project in Dominica is the first of its kind, full-scale housing project approved by the World Bank, thus making our island a home reconstruction model for the rest of the world. This project, I think, is a shining example of our government's ability to adapt and to respond appropriately to the impacts of climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, roughly 5 years ago since Hurricane Maria's destruction on Dominica's economy, and 4 years since the start of the implementation of the Housing Recovery Project, this Labour Party government, led by the Honorable Prime Minister, has been steadfast in acknowledging our residents' needs with bold and decisive actions. And the Prime Minister's leadership has led to the restructuring of this program on more than one occasion to meet the evolving national needs. He negotiated for a bigger size house. As a responsible government, we must ensure that the housing that we provide meet the highest standards of quality and resilience, offering the vulnerable a secure and dignified place of abode. As a forward-thinking government, we adjust with the times, and we look and continue to work to ensure that every Dominican can build a better life and look forward to a more secure future. And so today, beneficiaries, we are delighted to celebrate with you on the official handover of your resilient house, which releases a heavy financial burden from you. No longer do you have to worry about where you're going to get that rent money at the end of every month. This now allows you to focus your finances on furnishing and maintaining your home, reclaiming your life, and contributing towards building our economy. With these homes, you now have a place to rest comfortably when it rains for a day or more, a place to feel safe in times of impending storms and hurricane, and even when the earth shakes, as in recent times. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to give you a house, and we hope that it is appreciated and taken care of. And you know, this is part of the reason why I am so passionate about this ministry, because you get to see firsthand the positive social impacts on the lives of people. Families who have been separated A sister live in one place, a brother somewhere else, a father somewhere else. For years, they're now able to reunite. And I've seen the positive transformations in the lives of children when they're provided with a safe space. Our elderly, especially those who've been living in deplorable conditions for most of their life. And they will now say that because of a new home, that it brought so much happiness to them, they believe that their lifespan has extended. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what this government and this ministry is about, bringing joy to people by uplifting their lives. As a new Minister of Housing, as a mother, as a Dominican, I am proud of you, and I thank you for your patience. Now you have a house to call your home. Congratulations. I only ask of one thing. Be appreciative of this gift. Take care of your new house and surroundings. Enjoy the safe haven to the fullest, and thank God for the blessing that He has bestowed upon your life. Before I end, ladies and gentlemen, it will be remiss of me not to recognize Senior Honorable Reginald Austri. Thank you, Minister, for being here today. And thank you for all the work that you have done in this ministry. Also, thank you for being a mentor to me as well. I must say that as a new minister, in my first month, you made me look good. I have 3 handing over ceremonies in 1 month. All because of your hard work and effort. And so I really want to thank you for paving the way and for, I would say, placing this red carpet for me entering into this ministry. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Good morning.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that passionate delivery. And of course, to demonstrate the manifestation of policy and vision, we now invite to the floor Umoja, the Sign Language Club of the Convent High School, to do a piece for us on the song by Michael Henderson, Home. Thank you very much, Umoja, led by Miss Landa. Of course, this event that we are hosting today is as a result of the committed and visionary leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister that laid the platform for this housing revolution, and this housing recovery project forms part of that initiative. I now invite to the podium Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, the Prime Minister of Dominica, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to everyone and to recognize Honorable Minister Skerrit, the Minister for Housing and Urban Development, and the parliamentary representative for the Rosal Central constituency. My other cabinet colleagues present, Her Worship Sandra Ermin-Roye, Mayor of the City of Rosal, Honorable Reginald Austri, our former Minister for Housing, Dr. Kira Paul, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, other permanent secretaries. I see my other former cabinet colleagues here present. Say hi. I also like to recognize Mr. Suranga Kahandawa, Senior Disaster Management Risk Specialist, Task Team Leader from the World Bank Mission, Ms. Lolita Raffle, and other staff members of the project unit, Pastor Samuel Augustine, Ms. Shalina Samuel, the 45 beneficiaries present, other invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The reality is, after having heard the speech delivered by Ferdinand, I don't think there should have been anything to say, because he encapsulated, of course, the passionate speech given by our new Minister for Housing. My dear friends, this is a wonderful moment, and I feel an intense sense of pride and happiness for the 45 of you who will today receive keys to your new homes. I extend heartiest congratulations to every one of you. I am fully conscious of the joy and contentment you must feel on this occasion. After the devastation caused by Hurricane Maria, which interrupted your lives and compromised your family's well-being and happiness, this is a gift of a home. This gift of a home must feel like a godsend. Indeed, all honor and glory are due unto the Lord, who guided this country to recovery in the aftermath of the worst natural disaster in our history. The handover of these homes stand as a reminder of the challenges we've overcome since 2017 and the ways we continue to transform the lives of our people most impacted by Hurricane Maria. And there's a tendency among us in the country to forget that we were hit by the most devastating hurricane in our history. And I don't want to remind you, I don't have to remind you, my dear friends, that the damage to the housing stock exceeded EC $900 million, and that homeowners across the country faced the significant challenge and cost of rebuilding. 90% of homes were impacted, with over 4,500 houses completely destroyed, and more than 20,000 homes partially damaged. From day one, this government has fully embraced its responsibility to restore our affected residents the comfort and sanctuary of their own homes. As Prime Minister, my first order of business upon meeting with the officials of the World Bank in October 2017 was to secure funding for recovery in the key sectors of agriculture and housing. After lengthy negotiations, we were able to settle on a loan and grant agreement of up to $110 million for the reconstruction of homes for 420 beneficiaries. And not just any home. We are talking about sturdy, resilient structures, sized for the comfort of the beneficiaries and their families. In the early stages of this project, we had to make several adjustments to meet the World Bank's requirements and to ensure we were providing beneficiaries with homes which were adequate for the needs of their families. At the end of our negotiations, the size of the proposed structure increased from 300 square feet to 500 square feet at a maximum cost of $150,000. And I recall my staff saying that there's no way the World Bank was going to agree to any changes to the agreement because we had already signed the agreement. And I told them that the World Bank loves me and they will respond in the affirmative. And the World Bank responded to say, yes, we will make the changes to the finance agreement and increase the size of the homes. While this project is an owner-driven process, successful applicants are provided with financial, technical, and administrative assistance to see the reconstruction to completion. This approach has ensured that each beneficiary is awarded a quality dwelling built to the highest safety standards. As of today, 114 of you will have benefited from this government's effort, with 151 more homes currently under construction, 151 currently under construction across Dominica. And the important thing, all of these homes are being built by Dominicans. And all of the materials are purchased from local suppliers of building materials. So we can do the maths. Safe shelter, we know, is a basic human need, which is crucial for survival and the well-being of children and families. It provides security, personal safety, and protection from adverse weather patterns, such as what we have had to contend with in recent years. But more than that, adequate housing provides people with dignity, a sense of belonging, and a sound foundation on which they can build respectable lives for their families. As a government, we have never lost sight of the importance of shelter to our citizens' well-being. And across Dominica, we have been putting our words into action. You see it all around you. More and more Dominicans are benefiting from access to homes of superior standard built with public funds, benefiting so many people in Dominica. Indeed, we are changing lives and affording families the chance to live in peace and dignity. No longer will the landlord be at you because you owe him a few months. And you know these landlords, they don't fix the homes have no water, the toilet is broken, they termite in it, but every month they want their money. But 45 of you, no more landlords for you in Dominica. Thank God for that. And I have to tell you, it never gets old. These homes never get old. It never gets old seeing the joy in the faces of our people, knowing that we have empowered them with a place where they can feel safe and where they're able to invest their hopes and dreams for a brighter future. As of this morning, we have another 45 rich people in Dominica. And you might ask me, what do you mean these people are rich? They now have an asset that is valued at over $200,000. That they can enter into a financial institution in Dominica tomorrow with their title, with a valuation of their property, and get a loan to build their small businesses, to start small businesses, and create wealth for themselves and for their children and for their families. And by this action, by handing over the keys this morning, they will not be considered poor anymore in Dominica, because they have access to safe housing, access to proper sanitation, access to electricity, access to potable water, transforming the lives of people. And this is why Dominicans must understand, they must catch the vision of what we're talking about when we talk about housing, why housing is so important for a government's consideration, and why I am unrelenting as the Prime Minister of this country to ensure that every family can have a decent and safe home in Dominica. Because we understand and appreciate the dramatic impact it has on the lives of individuals and families across Dominica. And it's an important SDG goal that Dominica is way ahead of achieving compared to even richer countries than ours. And so, my dear Dominicans, friends, these are the considerations which drives our government policy on housing. And for me personally, it is also a biblical and Christian obligation to provide shelter to people. And so I say to people who usually criticize these governments for housing, watch what you say. Because you're criticizing not me, you're criticizing he who giveth, and it is the Lord who giveth and taketh away. And this is why he blesses me every time we go, every 5 years or something, every 3 years. It is our commitment to address the basic needs of the most vulnerable among us, ensuring equitable access to services which can enhance their quality of life. Dominica continues to face the mounting threat of climate change, which reinforces our goal to improve our country's housing stock. Rain events over the past months, concentrated in east and southeast of Dominica, have exposed even more our vulnerabilities, forcing us to constantly reassess needs and devise ways to ensure the safety of our population. Having responded to the immediate needs of the residents in East and Southeast following last November's trough systems, we are now moving ahead with plans to relocate the hardest hit in Good Hope and Piditsofria. It will be against my conscience to ignore the dangers faced by the people in these communities. What happens when the next hurricane season brings with it more rains, landslides, and flooding? Therefore, despite the hefty price tag, we must act in the best interest of the residents and take the necessary steps to relocate them to safer ground. And so through various government initiatives in communities across Dominica, we are building resilience and edging closer to our climate resilience goals. With these new homes, we are giving our citizens the tools they need to withstand the harsh impacts of severe weather. If we interpret resilience as our ability to bounce back, to adapt, and to respond, then the strengthening of our housing stock is one of the sure way to increase adaptability of individuals and communities. I have always said that resilience building is about more than the strengthening of infrastructure and systems. It is about empowering people with the keys to better lives, to security, and to the long-term well-being of their families. Since 2017, we have had the steady support of the World Bank in our efforts to restore our people's livelihoods. I take this opportunity to once again thank the World Bank for its partnership with Dominica. They have been truly wonderful partners, great partners, and we're grateful to them. I think in the last years in particular, we have done some important work together with the World Bank on behalf of the people of Dominica. And I look forward to continued collaboration as we mitigate against the impact of climate change and seek to uplift the lives of all people. I can say to you that the World Bank sees Dominica as a poster child in terms of its partnership in building resilience for our people. And they don't only provide us with the financial support, but the technical support and the empathy they've shown to us, the deep-seated, inherent intrinsic understanding and appreciation and commitment that they have shown over the years is worth really more than money. It is the commitment to doing what they can for us. And every request that we made to them, they have responded in the affirmative. And so please convey to our friends at the World Bank our profound gratitude and appreciation to all of you, the management and the staff of the World Bank. I wish to acknowledge the efforts also of the officers of the Housing Recovery Project, as well as the staff of the Ministry of Housing, and the former Minister of Housing, and the new Minister for Housing, for efforts to shelter the people of Dominica. Once again, my friends, I congratulate all of you, the 45 beneficiaries. Your joy really, truly is my joy. And it is as if I am the one receiving a key this morning. Because I know many of you, and I know the circumstances under which many of you live. But thank God, from this afternoon, that will be no more. This is an extraordinary gift. But remember, always remember, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. And so you thank the Lord, because we give him all the praises and the glory for what's happening today. I am just an instrument that the Lord is using to do good works in our country. So when you say thanks, really not to me, but to him. And when you don't say thanks, it's really not to me, it's to him. So, because it is he who giveth and he who taketh away. And when we show appreciation, our blessings will be multiplied. Multiplied. If you don't show appreciation, and you can pray every day you want, you will start questioning whether there's a God. Because we sometimes ask for things before appreciating that which we have. So if you have a piece of fish, you can be saying, well, I want steak. Eat the fish, my brother. And when the steak comes, thank God for the steak. But don't say, well, I have a little balao and so on, that's all I have. That's what you have. Because the reality is, there are many people in the world who may have nothing at all to eat. And there are many people in developed world, in countries that are far more rich than us, where homelessness has become a pandemic. It's serious. And so let us appreciate these big gifts. They're not small gifts, but big gifts. Thank you very much, and may God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister, of course, for reminding us where we came from, where we're heading and why, and reminding us of what is expected of us, particularly recipients of homes. Appreciation. We've come to the highlights of this morning's ceremony, the handing over of the keys to recipients from the Honorable Prime Minister. This will be facilitated by the Social Safeguard Specialist. The homes will be delivered based on the communities. The homes are all over Dominica, across the country, and so they're delivered by, the keys are handed over by community. We are also mindful that this is an exemplary social protection program, and so we pay attention to the special circumstances of individuals. So there'll be a few persons who are accepting the keys on behalf of the recipients. Honorable Prime Minister. Mr. Suranga will hand over the keys. The community of Bataka, Sheridan Burton for Anthony Burton, followed by Eltina Tyson. Eltina Tyson. Farah Valmont, followed by Jones Tyson. Matthew Viville, followed by Yves Paris. Carol Rossi, followed by Jefferson Viville. Lawrence Valmont, of Concord. Jane Coffey, followed by Noel Valmont of Siniku. Klaus John, followed by Antoine Benoit John of Sensi. Donilla Frederick for Gauthier Gabriel of Sensi, followed by Rock Sanford of Sensi. In Bells, Alfred Vigilant. In Bioche, Kim Christopher. Deepa Jane Toussaint. For Connie Severin Frederick. For Tune Charlene Bunch for Peter Bunch. In Goodwill, Peter Granville. In La Plaine, Benedict John Hope, followed by Brian Girodell for Junior for Brian Girodell. La Plaine, Christopher Ito and Nicolas Esprit. Of Layupak, Jeremy Williams. Of Pebush, Ferdinand Joseph. Of Pedit Soufriere, Viviane Durand. Of Shawford, Afina Gallion for Albert Gallion. Of Wesley Tenderly Francis. And of Yampis, Claudia Paul and Lucille John Baptiste. And I see here some of the PAL reps looking on proudly. That's one or two homes that can be checked off that list. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Mrs. Popon-Skerrit, and Suranga. To deliver the official vote of thanks, let me invite Ms. Lolita Raful, the environmental specialist of the implementing entity. But as she comes, can we give a round of applause to all of the beneficiaries who received the keys to their home today.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, thank you for this housing recovery project its multiple restructuring suited to a small island state facing serious dynamic climatic changing issues, and importantly, for making Dominica the first nation in the world to provide the World Bank with a full-scale resilient house construction model. Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerrit, Minister for Housing and Urban Development, thank you for your remarks. It is clear, as Minister responsible for HRP, you and HRP's past minister share similarities. Your passion, your drive, and consequential support to see HRP succeed. This propels everyone to come to moments like today, to see houses handed over to provide a safe haven for beneficiaries to live. Honorable members of Cabinet and parliamentary secretaries, we are grateful for your guidance and facilitation of critical decisions on HRP. Her Worship Ermin Royer, Mayor of the City of Roseau, we appreciate your presence and welcome remarks to celebrate HRP. Ms. Denise Edwards, Financial Secretary, thank you for all things finance. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and Chair of today's ceremony, and other permanent secretaries present, thank you. HRP's World Bank Task Team Leader, Suranga Kahandawa, we are delighted that you could join us today to celebrate this moment and for navigating HRP with your team at the World Bank alongside Dominica. Pastor Samuel Augustine, your prayer at this celebration reminds us of Matthew chapter 19, verse 26, that with God all things are possible. Thank you for blessing shared. Creed CEO and team, as the agency at the helm of creating a resilient Dominica in the face of climate change, your contribution with HRP to HRP within this capacity is appreciated. Kalinago Council, led by the Kalinago Chief, applauses for supporting HRP as champions for Indigenous peoples within the Kalinago territory. Your role is undeniably essential from the application phase to planning approval and ultimately to house completion. We are grateful for this continued support. National Bank of Dominica, thank you for partnering with HRP. The Physical Planning Division, inclusive of the Regional Technical Assistance Centers, this government office is at the core of physical development on island. Immense thanks for work done in support of guidance, planning approvals, and inspection. Umoja CHS, the additional smiles you evoke during your performance is that extra delight we all need at this celebration. Thank you. To the project's design and supervision firm, Clark-Bond team, thank you for continuing to prepare detailed site plans, facilitate planning and construction approvals. Your role with the island team, Edgehill Fortune and Associates, is undeniably critical. HRP contractors, you are HRP's brave souls. You ultimately construct what we celebrate today, building a house for beneficiaries to call their home. Cheers to you. PIU team, led by a project manager, technical specialist, and ancillary team, every detail counts, and you make it work irrespective of all challenges. Thank you, team. This privilege afforded to us to implement HRP towards house handover is one we are grateful for. So today, as we celebrate with beneficiaries, we say thank you to government for this opportunity, and to contractors, beneficiaries, and partners, thank you for your patience and support. Shalina, who is part of the project unit support team, thank you for a beautiful rendition of Dominica's national anthem. Other invited guests, we appreciate your presence. Most of all, beneficiaries and your supporters here today, thank you for applying to give yourself an opportunity to receive this beautiful gift from the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, your beautiful home. And thank you for sharing this joyous moment of yours with us all. Thank you also for the testimony shared. To everyone who made this event a success, the President's Office, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, media houses, the sound engineers, Unite, decorators, caterers, servers, everyone, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lolita. And this marks the close of the Government of Dominica Housing Recovery Project and over 45 homes today. Just before we leave, a request has been made for a group photo of the beneficiaries with the head table. We could proceed to the step at the front so that there's this stair. And while we wait on their return, we have refreshments on the porch, on the patio. You can enjoy the ambience, and also in the closed room. And we have a video that depicts some of the footage of the homes that were built. Thank you, everyone, and safe journey home to the recipients.
So yes, there you have it. We have now concluded the ending of the handing over ceremony. This being the third one of the handing over ceremonies for the month so far. This project is in collaboration with the World Bank Group and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Welcome remarks were made by the Mayor of Roseau, Her Worship, Ermine Royer, where she expressed her appreciation for the initiatives of the housing program and congratulated the recipients. Remarks were made by Mr. Suranga Kahandawa of the World Bank. He highlighted the impacts of natural disasters on our Caribbean island GDPs, as he also highlighted the economic vulnerability of the islands, stating that billions of dollars are being lost annually due to climate change. Focusing on Dominica's resilience, he stated that there are many positive impacts as well as great importance of housing developments, but not just any housing projects, but rather resilient housing. Despite challenges over the years and the impacts of the pandemic, the Housing Recovery Project continues to move in a forward trajectory, one that sees the team effort of everyone involved in this project. We also heard testimonies from recipients of the houses, those who received the houses today, stating how happy that they were to receive their homes. Of course, Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerrit, the Minister for Housing and Urban Development, expressed her joy, describing this as a time of new opportunities for many deserving people, as this was to the tune of 40 million US dollars with financing from the World Bank. There is now an ever-growing imperative to build even more resilient homes and in turn strengthening the capacity of family resilience, especially with rising frequencies of the magnitudes of the natural disasters due to the climate change. However, there is still much more work that needs to be done with a full-scale housing redevelopment and adaptability. She also stated and spoke on the importance of and the benefits of owning a home, and she congratulated the recipients and the motivation it brings to her and the positive impacts of providing housing to many who are deserving. Also, Mr. Umoja, that's the Umoja Convent High School Sign Language Club. They gave an excellent display of art and dance and music and Dominica's culture, all in expression of appreciation for the ceremony and the many benefits of the housing project. The keynote address was delivered by the Prime Minister, Mr. Roosevelt Skerrit. The handing over ceremony of these homes, according to the Prime Minister, is a reminder of the resilience of the people, The damage estimated to over $900 million, with housing being key priority in 2017 after Hurricane Maria. $110 million was loaned to Dominica by the World Bank to ensure that 422 families will be beneficiaries of quality resilient housing.